Hey, what is going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Trainer Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about what we have learned from our mentors. And obviously, we have had, probably hundreds of different mentors throughout our lives, from parents and teachers and bosses and managers and other people, peers, things like that. But we want to try to focus on some of the most important things that we've learned that help us in our everyday lives and specifically health and fitness as well. So I'll start. A couple of like my favorite quotes from mentors that just really resonate with me and how I live my life is one that I actually just read very recently was you cannot fail if you do not quit. So in anything that you want to achieve, if you just keep doing it and trying and take action every single day, you can't fail. Eventually you will win or succeed in whatever you're trying to do if you never give up for the rest of your life. So that can relate to, maybe you have a career goal, a business goal, or a health and a fitness goal. If you just put in the work and take action every day and you don't quit ever, you will eventually succeed in whatever that is. The hardest part about that is simply just staying disciplined and actually doing it and taking action, which getting a mentor can help you stay accountable to that, which we will also get into. We actually have mentors that we work with on a regular basis to help us in every aspect of our life, health and fitness, professional, things like that. So that's my main one. I also just want to list up a couple quick more, and then I'll let Bethany go. So doing more than what's required. So a lot of people, they work their 40 hours a week. They do what's required of them, kind of the norm, but they don't typically do anything extra. So for example, it's even really hard for people just to get in 3 30-minute workouts a week. And if you add that up, it's less than 2% of your time. And that is just such a hard thing to do. It's because everybody's gotten into this normal thing of they work their 40 hours and then they go home and then they spend time with family, watch TV, whatever it is, and they just don't structure their time. Which leads into my next one, which is I believe people should wake up earlier than everybody else and get shit done. So waking up early, if half the world wakes up at 7 and gets ready and goes to work, they're 9 to 5. If you wake up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 4 a.m., you are an early bird. You have so much more time to get stuff done in the morning. And that is something that is very challenging, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I love the fact that I am up at 4, I'm to work by 5, and by the time everybody else gets to work, I am halfway through my work day. There's something rewarding about that. And it just makes me feel like I'm accomplishing so much more toward my personal goals. This one's starting to become more false, but I will go ahead and say it anyways. The world is not yet a crazy enough place to reward a bunch of undeserving people. So basically what that means is if you don't deserve something, you will never get rewarded for it. You'll never achieve something you don't deserve. So for example, if you want to be healthy and fit and you see somebody like, oh, I just wish I was healthy and fit like that person. I hate to say this, but you don't deserve it unless you're doing the things that they are doing. If you're working out regularly, if you're eating healthy, if you're not eating junk, if you're waking up early and getting things done, scheduling your day, you drink enough water, getting enough sleep, you have to do all those things in order to deserve to be healthy and fit. And so that's something that really changed my life is anything that I want in life. I'm not just going to sit here and say, I wish I had that. I wish I had that. Must be nice to somebody else. That's my least favorite quote in the whole world. Anything that I want in life, I just ask myself, what do I need to do to deserve to have that or achieve it? So those are my main ones. I'm sure there's going to be some more after I let them go, but I'll let Bethany go.
Okay, so some of my top favorites are, is this based in logic or emotion? So like when you're going to make a decision, are you basing this, or maybe it's a thought pattern that you're having in your head? Sometimes people really deal with negative thoughts. So is this based in logic or emotion? Like, is this 100% true? Like, ask yourself that. Is this thought 100% true? Most of the time, it's not absolutely true. And then, you can kind of go into, especially with decisions, will this decision pull me closer to where I want to be, or will this decision push me farther away? And we're always on this continuum of the decisions we make. It's either we're going to go up, we're going to stay the same, or we're going to go down, in terms of the progress that we want to make. So keeping that in mind of like, okay, do I want to set myself back when I could have made twice the progress? So you would be like 2 steps back. Instead of taking 1 step forward, you're now taking 2 steps back. It takes you twice as long to get to where you would have been if you would have made the decision that would take you further to your goals. So kind of visualizing that and knowing if you didn't take so many steps backwards, you could have been to your goal by now. And I think that's a powerful way to visualize it. So like if you took, say, 3 months and really dedicated yourself to working out, eating right, and 90% of your decisions you were on track, right? And comparing that to if you only made the correct decision half the time, it would take you twice or maybe 3 times as long to get those same results. So, I mean, it could take you even up to a year to get the same results that you would get in 3 months if you had a lot of like backtracking, or you would take decisions that weren't pushing you towards your goals. So keeping that in the forefront of your mind of like, you don't have to be perfect, but you at least have to be making a lot more of the decisions that are going to push you in the right direction versus the ones that are going to, pull you away from where you want to be.
Yeah, so I want to start by saying, like, when we said that we were going to talk about this topic, these two are coming up with all these, like, great quotes and, like, things that are really good to know and, like, keep engraved in your brain. Me, on the other hand, I'm not a huge, I don't remember quotes off the top of my head necessarily, but so when I thought about, when they said, what have you learned from other mentors, I kind of was overwhelmed because I feel like every single thing that I've learned about health and fitness, I have learned from someone else. And then, we kind of got talking about how, literally we would not be where we were if we hadn't learned from other people or other resources. I wouldn't know how to squat if I hadn't learned that from a coach or a mentor or even a video on YouTube or something like that. I think just everything that we've learned for health and fitness, we have learned from somebody else. So I just want to say, don't think that you have to do all of this on your own. If you think that we've learned things on our own, that's false. We wouldn't know anything if we hadn't learned it from somewhere else. But I did have one quote that I thought of that is just something that's kind of a go-to. I want to say that I heard it from my mom, but I'm not 100% sure. I know it's something that she says a lot and that I say a lot as well. And it's that you get to work out, you don't have to work out. And I think a lot of times we think, oh, I have to work out today, or I have to eat healthy today, because you can also use that with nutrition. When the truth is, you get to do it. We don't have control over everything in our lives, but we do have control over how we take care of ourselves and if we choose to work out or not. And that's something that, I remember at the beginning of my fitness journey that I had to tell myself almost every single day is I get to do this, I get to do this, I get to do this, and just changing your mindset. Because I don't think we realize how quickly things can be taken away from us. Once you start working out and you get enjoying it, injuries can happen. And then you're kind of at a setback, and then you wish that you could work out again. And so just keeping that in mind, it's something that you get to do, not that you have to do. You don't have to do anything, but you get to take care of yourself and better yourself every single day. But one thing that I learned, I just kind of want to talk about, things that I've learned from other mentors that have really, especially in the beginning of my fitness journey, that kind of helped me. And I think the biggest one was just starting small. And again, this is something that I actually just learned from my mom, but she's been a huge mentor in my health and fitness journey. But I remember feeling overwhelmed with working out when I first started trying. I remember just trying to work out every single day and feeling burnt out and being so sore that I couldn't walk and just not liking that feeling. And I just remember her telling me start with 3 days a week and with 30 minutes. It's not a lot of time and you can get it done quick. And then after you kind of get in that habit of 3 days a week, you can add on another day, or you can add on longer workouts. And so I just think that was one of the most helpful things that I learned. And that, we try to engrave in all our clients is come to class 3 days a week, come to training 3 days a week, just get here 3 days a week, get yourself in that routine, and then you can slowly start adding on after that.
I love them.
Yeah.
Good. Something else that I wanted to kind of point out is like, obviously we have so many mentors throughout life, and it doesn't have to be just some like when you think of the word mentor, you think of somebody that's very, very knowledgeable or successful in whatever their field is, but it literally could be anybody. Like, we are mentors to each other. Like Caitlin learned a lot about CrossFit from us. I learned a lot about CrossFit from a friend of mine. It could be, some of my mentors, like people that we look up to every single day and listen on podcasts and YouTube videos. We've never even met these people, but they've literally transformed our lives, and we take in the information they have to say because we believe in them, in whatever their message is or whatever they're trying to do to help people. So, for me, it's like a lot of people that I just literally watch YouTube or podcasts and stuff and learn and take in information from them. And a lot of it's what we transfer to teach you guys. So if you're watching this video, we are kind of trying to mentor you right now. And I just wanted to say that because these people that, I looked up to or hired as mentors to help me with the gym business, for example, these two wouldn't even be standing next to me, I'm pretty confident, if I hadn't invested and put the time into having somebody teach me how to run and operate a gym, because I had no idea how to do it when I was 23 years old, taking over Thumb Elite Athletics, which was what it was before. I really just knew I wanted to help people, and I didn't really know how to run a gym, so I hired people to help me do that. So if there's any message you could take away from this, it's if there's anything that you truly want to accomplish or get better at, you need to seek help and find a mentor, somebody that's doing what you want to do that can help you get there. Because the fact of the matter is you're not going to be able to just figure it out on your own. That's one of our biggest pet peeves is somebody will come and work with us for a while, and then they'll say, I think I'm going to do this on my own. And if you think about the moment you were born, you've had a mentor or somebody helping you with literally everything you've done in your life. You've had parents that mentored you and taught you everything you know when you were a child. You went to school, you had teachers, and you had other students helping you learn everything you've learned throughout school. Then you go to college, you had more teachers teaching you. Then you got a job, you had a boss or a manager teaching you everything you need to know and helping you with your job. So what makes you believe that you can just figure out how to be healthy and fit on your own? It's very, very hard to do. Yes, you can go into Google and YouTube and soak up all the information and try to learn it, and then you got to do trial and error and do all this stuff, but it's going to take a long time. There's no guarantee of success either. So that's where a mentor can literally just, all a mentor does is shorten the duration and they increase the likelihood of achievement. So the more likely you are to achieve it, and then the decrease in time just makes life so much more enjoyable when you can get there faster and you're way more likely to achieve it.
Yeah, 100%. I like that you brought up the, if you use a mentor, like obviously all this information is out there, but the time that it would take for you to sift through it and understand it and be able to apply it in your own life, you just kind of fast track that with a mentor, which yes, you do have to invest money up front, but it's actually, you're able to earn more money long term because you don't have to go through all the trial and error, and you get more time where you're actually successful or you're at whatever goal that you want to get to. And it makes it more worthwhile saving the time. Like we just talked about that earlier, which I'll just kind of touch on it now, of like what's more valuable to you, your time or your money.
I'll use that. I'll go through the example.
You talk about that, but that's, with that example in mind, mentors are extremely valuable because you would rather have the time rather than the money that it takes to reach whatever goal that you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want you to go over that.
Okay, I'll go over that.
So I'm gonna totally change.
I just This blew my mind when I heard it, and hopefully it resonates with some of you guys listening. So if you're listening to this, I want you to really think about if not me, but let's say somebody just gave you $10 million, how would you feel? So think about it for a moment. You got $10 million sitting in front of you. How would you guys feel?
Be like shocked, but also super excited.
Happy.
Yeah, really happy with it. Of like, ecstatic. Yeah, that's
and
probably the
you
best.
kind of relate it to like if somebody wins the lottery, like how incredibly energetic and just grateful they would feel, right? Here's the catch. I'll give you guys $10 million, but you don't wake up tomorrow. What do you take? Would you rather wake up tomorrow or would you rather have 10 million bucks?
Wake
Uh,
up
wake up
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Okay. So why don't we feel excited and grateful and energetic every single day we wake up? If we would rather wake up than have $10 million, why are we waking up and dreading every day or not taking action toward our goals or living life to the fullest, trying to be our best? You know, why are we hitting snooze 10 times and dragging throughout the day, not enjoying it, and then going home and sitting on the couch? And I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with that. I sit on the couch too, but like it's proportional to me taking action and trying to get to my goals. We need to invest some time into ourselves and our family and enjoying life and trying to be better and live a long, healthy life. If we would rather have tomorrow than $10 million, why aren't we waking up excited and pumped and grateful that we woke up? That's what was very mind-blowing to me. And I learned that from a mentor. So I wanted to share that to you, and hopefully that resonates. And hopefully that alone will motivate some people to just take a look at the gratefulness that we could have from just waking up in the morning. You wake up and you can move, you can walk, you can breathe, you can do the things, anything that you want to do. It's all about how you choose to live that day or whatever actions you want to take that day that will traject your entire life moving forward.
Yeah, and one thing to just piggyback off that is a quote from Alex Hormozy to invest in the S&P 500 instead of the S&P 500, which he kind of breaks it down of like, especially with me, I'm in my 20s. This is the time for me to be learning rather than earning. So if I focus my time now on learning as much as I can, getting skills from mentors, then that's just going to compound. So that way my earning potential and my skills later in life just compound. So investing in the S&P 500 with, instead of like the stock market or whatever, which I really know nothing about. So I really don't have any business investing in that. That's just going to help pay off and have dividends down the road way more than if I tried to figure out investing. So, in taking that time, taking that money to invest in yourself, learn new skills, that's what really moves the needle on any sort of results.
Yeah, I think they pretty much covered it all, but like obviously to have a mentor or a trainer or a coach, like you have to invest in that. And it can seem like a lot. Like it can seem like, oh, you're spending hundreds or thousands of dollars a year to come to the gym and come to classes and do personal training and all of these things. But honestly, like it's worth it in the end. It is worth to be healthy and to be able to live and to go do things. Like I can't imagine getting to the end of my life and not being able to get off the couch. Like I just think about I just think about a lot, like, and I try to tell people this who are younger, who are our age. Like I was talking to one of my friends about like how I think it's when you're like 25, your muscles naturally start to
30.
30.
Yeah,
Okay, so by the
starts to
time you're
decline.
30 years old, your muscle starts to atrophy. It starts to like decline and go away, which is so young.
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine like not doing resistance training and not investing in my health to take care of those things so that I can kind of combat that and continue to build muscle so that I'm not falling over and I'm not weak when I get older. And again, just not sitting on the couch or have diabetes or whatever the case is. Like I just can't imagine not taking care of myself and investing in myself so that I can live and play with my grandkids one day. And maybe I'm the only one this young that thinks about those things, but I think it's good to think about those things no matter how old you are.
Yeah, something to kind of go off of that is like something I think about is like, picture yourself as like a 70-year-old or 75-year-old, whatever, however old, and think about, would you rather be, heart disease, diabetic, maybe in a wheelchair, not be able to really do any things that you would like to do, and have, say, $1 million in the bank? Or would you rather have $200,000 in the bank and be able to do all the things you want to do and be strong and healthy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the point of what we're trying to get at is like invest in yourself now. Yes, you're going to have a little bit less money right now every month, but it pays dividends. It's like investing in the stock market. You're investing in yourself, the S&P 500. That way, when you get down later in life, you're actually able to enjoy life longer, be able to do the things you want to do without having somebody have to take care of you. That's my biggest fear is like, I don't want anybody taking care of me and having to wheel me around or anything. Like I want to be able to be independent and do my own things.
Yeah.
And I've told these guys this, and I'm kind of hesitant on saying this, but just to give you guys an idea, like I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. These two wouldn't even be here if I hadn't hired mentors and learned everything I needed to learn about just operating a gym business. But also, we've learned a lot about how to help people. We probably wouldn't even do this podcast if I hadn't hired mentors to be able to learn this stuff. And over the last 5 years, I think I've invested over $75,000 in mentors. A very, very large chunk of the money that I could pay myself, I just invest right back into learning. How can we make the gym better? How can I improve my skills and my operations? And how can we help people achieve better results? And I wouldn't trade that for the world. Nobody could give me $75,000 right now to go back in time and not do all this stuff that I've done with the gym. There's no way.
Yeah, I like that perspective shift that you did with like, say you paid $4,000 for a program and, at the end of it, you've gotten great results from it. And, say like with some sort of program, like maybe you do a year or something, maybe it's only a shorter program. If you invest a certain amount of money, you get your results. At the end of it, if we were to ask you, okay, do you want your money back and we'd take your results away, or would you rather keep the results and then, still have that investment paid? And I would say, everyone would be like, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
And it's just getting over that initial, like, I guess fear or risk of like investing. I mean, everyone has their own reasons and everything like that. But, it really comes down to how fast do you want to get to your goals?
Mm-hmm.
Because the money is not going to go with you when you die. So it's like, obviously take care of yourself, do all the things you got to do. But, if you're saving for retirement, but if you can't even enjoy it, then it's like, what's the point? So kind of on a side tangent of that, there was one more part that I wanted to talk about from Alex Hormozi. I heard on a podcast, he was talking about micro wins, and there's a quote that is really good. It's gotten a little bit more popular lately. It's the person who loves walking will walk further than the person who loves the destination, which is really powerful because if you can figure out a way to love the process, so to love working out, to love eating healthy, enjoy it, which you do that through creating micro wins. So the smallest wins of like, you want to measure things and then look back on your progress. So whether that is your back squat, you say, oh, okay, like last year I was doing 5 reps at 100 pounds. And then this year I'm doing 5 reps at 150 pounds. Wow, that's so much better. And having those little micro wins that you can compare and see your progress, that's how you keep the motivation. That's how you keep yourself motivated. Those little wins, it doesn't, the wins in the scale isn't really that motivating. The most motivating part is more of like the process wins. So my gosh, looking back and saying, I used to eat just complete garbage and now I have vegetables with every meal. That's a win. Mm-hmm. It's looking at all the different little aspects of your life and saying, okay, how did I grow from that? How did I get better? And then using that as motivation to keep you going. That's what's going to get you to fall in love with the process. And then you won't just be fixated on the destination, which is that end goal. People that are fixated on the end goal of losing 20 pounds, they gain it right back. Usually. I mean, like 99% of the time, probably. If they're just focused on, I just want to lose 20 pounds. I don't care what I have to do. I'm just going to lose the 20 pounds, but they don't fall in love with the process. It's going to come back on. And we've seen that happen so many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes it more fun too to like notice the little things. I mean, again, it's miserable if you only have like one end goal of losing 20 pounds, like, and you enjoy nothing while getting there. Like, what's gonna keep you coming back after you lose that 20 pounds? Probably nothing. So yeah, that's why people tend to put the weight right back on because they didn't enjoy the process, like Bethany said. So yeah, just finding those little wins, just keep you going and keep you going forever.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, thinking back, like I think through like the hard times of just going through building up the gym and like thinking back, it was like those are the most rewarding times, like making it through really hard, learning new things, not knowing what to do. Like that was the journey and building it up. Like that is what makes it all worth it at the end. Like that hard work that you put in. That's what makes the results so much more worth it. And the longer you can put it off, the more rewarding it's going to feel. So, if we just said, there you go, you're fit, you're 30 pounds lighter, and whatever, like you're not going to feel any better necessarily because you didn't do anything to achieve it. And that's why I don't even know, probably 80%, I'm just throwing a number out there, but people that have surgery, like bariatric or maybe whatever, probably a very large percentage of them put the weight right back on because they didn't learn any of the skills or go through the hardships and that suffering of losing the weight on their own. So they didn't appreciate it as much. They paid for that surgery, which is another thing of just time, saving time, more money, less time, but you didn't appreciate it. You didn't get those wins. So usually they'll fall right back off. So that's something that we try to do with all of our clients is really get people to appreciate all those little wins of their first workout, their first week of eating healthy, their first time meal prepping, all these things that people don't really think about, to try to help them just feel good and appreciate the whole journey. I really like that you guys brought that up. I actually heard something that I did want to add on to what Bethany said, that I thought was pretty powerful, especially for those that maybe have a really high stress job, or just are stressed out in general with their life right now. If you wake up and you just say, it's going to be a tough day, but I can do this. Like today is going to be hard, but I'm prepared to take it on. Like I can do this. I can take it head on. The day will be a lot easier than if you say, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. And then it's not a good day. And then you have a bad day. Then you're disappointed. Oh, you didn't do this. You didn't do that. But if you wake up and you're preparing yourself because you know there's going to be challenges, maybe you don't want to work out. You're like, this workout's going to be tough. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Then you'll feel so much better once you do accomplish it. Or let's say you say, today's going to be a really hard day, but I can do this. I am prepared. And then maybe you have a wonderful day and it makes it that much better. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I heard that the other day and I thought, okay, that's something very good to hear because there's so many people that, if they have a really hard job or stressful job and they say, oh, I just hope it's a good day. I hope it's a good day. I hope we don't have this, that. And then it's a bad day and then they just feel like crap and they are drained. But if you wake up and be like, hey, today's going to be hectic, but I can do this. I can take on whatever life throws at me. Then you might have a better day and you're able to handle those stressors easier. Yeah. So.
I do that. I can vouch for that, especially with workouts, like a hard workout. Like I'd rather go into it thinking like this is going to be awful. Like I'm going to feel like puking afterwards or something, like build it up to be the worst thing in your mind. And then like go into it and you're like, okay, I'm not hurting that bad yet. So I'm okay. Like, it's starting to hurt a little bit. But if you go into it thinking like, oh, this is going to be a piece of cake or like, oh, this won't hurt that bad. And then it always is worse. It's always worse than you think it is. And like people that do classes, they come in and they're like, oh, that doesn't look that bad. And then they're like, that was so much worse than I thought it was going to be. And I'm like, maybe if you went reverse it. Like think that it's going to be awful. And like so many people will do that. They'll come in, they're like, oh my God, that looks so bad. And then afterwards they're like, well, I mean, it wasn't as bad as I thought.
It's a light bulb going off. Like that's great. I just had like glass shattering in my mind because that makes total sense. We've definitely heard people do that.
Yeah.
Whenever there's burpees on the board, or when there's an air bike on the board, or something like that, people are like, they're like, this is going to be terrible. And then we get through. How was it? I always ask my class how to go. and they're always like, "Oh, was it? It was good. It was good. It wasn't as bad as we thought." So
Yeah.
that's very cool.
Yeah.
That's true.
Sorry, I had to.
No, you're good. I know it's okay.
That's everything I got.
Yeah.
Everything you guys got?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a really long one. Hopefully, you guys got some golden nuggets from this, as our mentors like to say. So hopefully, you can take some action, and maybe you've learned some things. Even if you just take one of the things that we said and try to apply it to your life and take action on it, I think you'll notice that your life will start to get better as long as you're doing it consistently. And then you can start to add in more and more things. Kind of like what Caitlin said earlier, like with working out, start slow and then just start adding and building from there. Don't just try to do all this stuff at once. You'll get overwhelmed and you will probably want to quit. We don't want you to quit. We want you to enjoy the journey. So start with just a couple things, slowly build up, try to improve any areas where you can find need a lot of improvement first, and then just keep building from there. So hopefully this helps you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.